Okay, let's look at our solution here to homework 6. I run the code, I get a little game. It's called the homework 6 game-like app. It's not quite a game, it's almost a game. And this, you have to duplicate everything you see in this video, including this title kind of coming out at us when we're in this mode, the splash screen mode. Press P to play, H for help. This is a 300 by 300 window, by the way. You don't have to be pixel perfect. So it doesn't have to start exactly as small or end exactly as large. Just be close. Close is close enough. Okay, so let's hit H for help. And when I hit H, I get this help, which in truth in advertising is in fact not very helpful. But you do have to make it bold and underlined. You have to make it that color, which actually is maroon that way, and this kind of green or dark green this way, and have it bounce back and forth. Again, it doesn't have to be pixel perfect, but it has to be close. It also has to print the directions down here, print mouse to return to callers mode. And if I hit key presses, notice nothing happens, but a mouse press takes me back to where I came from. And when I say callers mode, if I hit H out of the splash screen, I will return to the splash screen. If I hit H out of the game, as we'll see in a moment, I'll return to the game. So where you return from the help screen depends on where you came from. All right, let's hit play. We're now playing this really exciting game. You can see we have a grid here, and you can see we have a clock, and we have some instructions down here. And inside the grid, which is blue and yellow, or it's actually light blue and light yellow, you have one highlighted cell, which actually is dark yellow if it was a yellow cell, or dark blue if it's a blue cell. See, we're going to run out of time. If you run out of time, you lose. Okay, and sad face. And this is yet another mode, the game over mode. Here we can press any key or mouse to start over. I'll press a key. Back to our splash screen. I'll press P to play. Now let's talk about gameplay. So I can use the I can use the keys, the arrow keys, to move around. As I move into a new cell, it highlights that cell. And every time you enter a cell, not only does it highlight the cell, but the counter in that cell goes up. Notice this is a 1, this is a 2. As I come back here, the 2 becomes a 3. Okay, I'm about to run out of time, but space resets your time. So anytime you want, you can hit space, as you can see, and I go back to 20 seconds, which is the amount of time you get. Okay, great. Also, if I hit the help screen and I come back, notice a few things. First, I'm in cell 6, 7 with a count of 3 at say 13. I'll do it at 12 seconds. 12, help. I'll take as much time as I want here, and when I return, still 12 seconds, same cell, same everything. Cool. So now, as I move around, I'm increasing count. Notice critically that the point, the dot, the maroon point, which is where you are, always actually stays in the exact center of the canvas. So in fact, unlike the side scroller demo, here, instead of moving the player, we're actually scrolling by moving the relative position because the X and Y always remain centered inside the canvas. That's left for you to figure out how to do. Okay, so now we have this grid. As you can see, the grid actually ends there, 0, 0. You can go off the grid all you want. It's probably a bad idea. And the grid, you can come down here and we'll find out how many rows are there. There have to be 10 rows, 0 through 9. And I'm sure you'll be shocked to find out there are 10 columns, 0 through 9. Okay, and I can keep adding time as I need to show you this. And as I go into cells, I keep adding to their counts. And now what about the mouse? If I click the mouse, it selects that cell and of course puts it to the center. So if I click 4, 3, notice 4, 3 became the center and the count went to 1. If I go to 2, 5, 2, 5 became the center and that count went to 1. Let's choose one that has a count. 4, 3 again. Now 4, 3 is here with a count of 2. In fact, whatever point you click on goes to the center. So if I click on the top left corner of 3, 2, the dot is at the top left corner of 3, 2, and that's selected. There, that's the general. If I click outside of everything, where I click becomes the center point, but of course it doesn't actually make a selection. Okay, just a few more things real fast. First, I misspoke earlier when I said the highlighted cells are dark yellow and dark blue. They're just yellow and blue. So light yellow and light blue for unselected, yellow and blue for selected. No dark yellow or dark blue. Secondly, the highlighting of the timer, I should mention, it's gray until you get to 10 seconds, at which point it becomes yellow, as we'll see here in a moment. 12, 11, 10 is yellow. And then when we get to 5 and lower, it will turn to red. So we'll see here at 5 and lower, and it's now red. It would stay red until the end unless I reset it. Also, as for the 10 by 10, naturally don't hard code that. Put 10 rows and 10 columns in well-named variables so that you could, in theory, make it 100 by 100, okay? Now, how do you win? Well, you know how to move, you know how to use the mouse, you know how to make points go up and points go down. None of that actually helps you win. The way you win is you simply hit the tab key and you win. Okay? That's the entire game. Have fun.